Amen. And some of them are out there laughing like, hey, that makes some sense. I've said that before. But the quality of that minute will be nowhere near if you had just got on it when you were supposed to. Amen. So we're talking about laziness. Amen. And a couple scriptures that I have, you want to write them down. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. Simply says, if any would not work, neither should he eat. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4. The soul of the sluggard desireth and have nothing. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. Sluggard will not plow, therefore shall have. And Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. Sloth makes you poor, diligence brings wealth. Amen. And nothing's worse than, again, you don't get it when you're a child, but when you have your own children, then you get it. Laziness and you tell somebody over and over again, and they don't want to do it. Amen. And a lot of times, because the things that we don't get from God is because we just sit idle. Amen. Nothing happens when you sit idle. Amen. We always have to be in a constant move. Amen. There was a story about a wealthy man. Amen. And a guy who liked to show off all his wealth, like to show off what he could do and everything. And he had a gathering at his house. And in his house had a beautiful pool, big pool. And in his pool was filled with alligators and sharks. And he put out there, he said, anybody who jumps in and makes it to the other side, I'll give them whatever they want. Give them whatever they want. So he was looking all around to see who would take him up on it. Next thing you know, he heard a splash. Looked in, and the guy was in there just going back and forth, dodging everything, and fearing for his life, and got to the other side and jumped out. He went over there, and he said, man, you're the bravest person I ever met. Things aren't meant for you to fail. Difficulty is there for you to get through and get promoted. Amen. And we talked about getting pushed, motivation. Amen. What is it? I was doing some reading too, and we said before, some of the birds would literally push the bird out the nest. It's like, it's time to get out and do this on your own. Some make it, some don't. So some will, some won't. I wasn't raised like this, but some people I've known that was how they were taught to swim. Get on the deck, good luck. In fear, maybe you'll learn. Amen. So that's what God does for us. Amen. He pushes us in order for us to succeed. And how many know God will bless those who are diligent and hardworking? Amen. If we can go to Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. And again, this is dealing with Joseph. After Joseph had been taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelites, Potiphar, an Egyptian, one of Pharaoh's officials, and the manager of his household, brought him from them. As it turned out, God was with Joseph, and things went very well with him. He ended up living in the home of his Egyptian master. His master recognized that God was with him, saw that God was working for good in everything he did. He became very fond of Joseph and made him his personal aide. He put him in charge of all his personal affairs, turning everything over to him.